Today's story is about a girl named Rose who goes on a sea trip with her mom and her mom's boyfriend. At first, everything seems normal, but soon, Rose discovers a terrible secret. Her mom's boyfriend is not a good man, he is a dangerous smuggler who kidnaps girls. Rose feels scared and trapped, not knowing what to do. The story begins with Rose sitting alone, her face and body covered in injury marks. She looks shocked and afraid, as if she has just escaped from something terrible. What happens next? Let's find out. After this, the story goes into a flashback. Rose's mother, Alma, comes home from work looking tired. Suddenly, Rose hugs her from behind and wishes her a happy birthday, which is the next day. Alma smiles and thanks her. Then she reminds Rose to finish packing because they are going on a trip with her boyfriend. Rose does not want to go, but she agrees because her mom insists. Later, Rose takes the car keys and leaves for her night shift. She works at a hotel, and though she is tired, she gets ready for another long night. The next morning, Rose returns home from work feeling tired. Alma is already packing their luggage for the trip. Rose does not want to go, but she agrees because her mother insists. On the way, Rose asks her mother about her boyfriend. Alma smiles and says that she hasn't known him for long, but she believes he is a good person. Rose is surprised and worried. After a while, they reach their destination, where Alma meets her boyfriend, Derek. He warmly welcomes them and then shows a map to Alma. He points to their route and explains that they will pass close to the Bermuda Triangle. Derek excitedly says they will reach there by Tuesday and have a great time. While Alma takes the luggage from the car, Rose stands under a tree, smoking. From a distance, she notices a strange man walking toward her mother. Later, she asks Alma about him. Her mother calmly replies that the man was just asking where she was going. Rose feels uneasy, but does not say anything. Rose meets her mom's boyfriend, Derek, for the first time. He tells them that he has bought a second-hand boat named Annalisa for their trip. Soon, all three board the boat and begin their journey. After some time, they celebrate Alma's birthday. They wish her and enjoy the moment together. Derek gives Alma a t-shirt as a gift and gives Rose a knife. Curious, Rose asks Derek about his work. He says that he was once in the police, but now works as a private security consultant. Later, he teaches Rose how to tie knots and explains their importance. He then asks her to help him steer the boat. Rose hesitates at first, but agrees. She starts feeling a little more comfortable, but something still seems strange about Derek. After the celebration, everyone steps outside. Derek teaches Rose how to drive the boat, while Alma happily takes photos and videos with her phone. Suddenly, Alma accidentally collides with the boat's mainsail and falls into the water. Derek quickly reacts, throwing a life jacket toward her and asking Rose to get a blanket and first aid from the cabin. When Rose enters the cabin, she is shocked to see it filled with water. Confused but worried, she grabs the blanket and first aid kit. By the time she returns, Derek has already pulled Alma back onto the boat. Rose quickly gives her mother the blanket, but she still feels uneasy about everything that just happened. Alma was not hurt. At the same time, they noticed the weather getting worse, so they decided to go down to the cabin, but Derek refused and said there was nothing to worry about. He assured them that the weather would be fine by tomorrow. The next morning, Rose comes upstairs and sees that the weather is clear. Her mother, Alma, is already sitting there drinking. Rose sits next to her and tells her that she is not happy and wants to go back home. But Alma, enjoying the view, tells her to relax and enjoy the beautiful place. After a while, Derek joins them. Rose notices a rifle and asks about it. Derek explains that he keeps it for safety and also as a hobby. Rose becomes curious and asks if she can try firing it. Derek agrees and takes out the rifle. He teaches her how to hold and fire it properly. Rose aims and shoots well on her first. Derek is impressed and praises her. Rose feels a little proud, but still uneasy about him. Rose sits inside, looking at her laptop, when she notices another boat at a distance. Curious, she steps out and uses binoculars to get a better look. Meanwhile, Derek and Alma are drinking and call Rose to join them. She hesitates, but eventually sits with them. Soon, Rose starts feeling dizzy and decides to go to her room to rest. After some time, she wakes up to strange noises outside. When she looks out, she sees another boat coming straight toward them. The boat crashes into theirs, and two men step out, pointing a gun at Derek. They demand he return something, but Derek insists he has no idea what they are talking about. Alma starts screaming, begging them to let them go. One of the men, whom Rose recognizes as the man who spoke to Alma earlier, hits Alma, injuring her. His companions call him Captain. Rose feels terrified and hides when her mother signals her to do so. Derek keeps repeating that he doesn't know anything, but the captain doesn't believe him. He shoots Alma and then Derek. Derek gets hit in the shoulder and falls into the water. The men shoot at him again before leaving. Shaking with fear, Rose slowly comes out after they are gone. Her eyes widen in horror as she sees that the boat has caught fire. She stands frozen, not knowing what to do next, as the flames spread quickly around her. Rose quickly grabs a fire extinguisher and starts putting out the fire. As the smoke clears, her eyes fall on her mother's lifeless body. Shocked and heartbroken, she stands frozen, unable to believe what she is seeing. The next morning, she struggles to understand what happened and what to do next. The boat is badly damaged, and the engine no longer works. Feeling helpless, she carefully wraps her mother's body in a cloth, hoping to take her home for a proper burial. Tears stream down her face. She searches for a way to call for help, but everything on the boat is burnt and useless. Rose hears a sound and rushes outside. She is shocked to see Derek still alive, floating in the water with a rope tied around him. She quickly pulls him up onto the boat and gives him water to help him recover. While searching the boat, she finds a strange device and asks Derek about it. Derek lies, saying it is just a damaged extra jib. However, Derek tells her to ignore it and focus on putting up a sail to move the boat forward. After several attempts, she finally succeeds, hoping this will help them find a way to survive. The next day, Derek calls Rose, and she goes to bandage his wounds. Derek, weak and in pain, tells her that she must find a way to start the boat. Rose then goes to the engine and tries to start the boat, but nothing works. Exhausted, she sits down. While searching for anything useful, she finds some photos in a cabinet. In the pictures, Derek is with the two men who attacked the boat. Realizing that Derek has been lying to her all along, she becomes furious. She goes outside, and while Derek is still unconscious, ties his hands to the boat and takes his safety knife. But after some time, she notices that Derek is missing. Panicked, she starts looking for him. After searching for a while, she finds him below the deck. Holding the knife, she demands answers, asking why he lied and if he knew the attackers. Derek simply replies, "He is a demon. The less you know about him, the better." His calm expression shows that he is neither scared nor does he care about Alma's death. She has no choice but to cooperate. Derek cleverly manipulates her into helping him fix the boat. Together, they try to repair the engine, but it is completely damaged and useless. Now, they are stranded in the middle of the ocean. Now, they only had the sea breeze to rely on. With the help of the small sail, on the third morning, Rose steps outside and sees an island not too far away. Derek is still sleeping in a corner. Without waking him, she carefully turns the boat towards the island, but with only one small sail, it cannot reach the shore. They decide to use a raft to get there. Derek is willing to go, but cannot row properly with just one hand, so Rose takes control. As they move toward the island, a part of the oar slips from Rose's hand. She tries to grab it but loses her balance and falls into the water. She panics because she does not know how to swim and starts drowning. Seeing this, Derek immediately jumps in after her. Struggling with his injured shoulder, he manages to pull her to the shore. Without wasting time, Derek gives her CPR. Rose finally gasps for air and starts breathing again. After regaining consciousness, Rose goes inside a nearby cave, searching for Derek. There, she finds him drinking water from a small stream. He offers her some water, and she drinks it, feeling a little better. Looking around, Rose realizes that the island is completely deserted. She tells Derek that they must find a way to return. Derek agrees, but reminds her that it will soon be dark. He says they have no choice but to spend the night there. After bringing the raft to the shore, Rose decided to sleep in it, while Derek stayed outside and lit a fire. However, Rose could not sleep, so she sat beside Derek. As they sat near the fire, they started talking. Rose shared that her father was a soldier who lost his life while serving in Iraq. Derek listened and then decided to tell his own story. This was when his real truth came out. He revealed that he was once a good and honest police officer. For 10 years, he worked hard and stayed loyal to his duty. But despite this, he never got anything in return. His wife left him, calling him a loser because he had no success in life. Feeling hopeless, he chose the wrong path and started working with criminals. He earned a lot of money through illegal means. One of the people he worked with was Captain. He then revealed that Captain's men, not Captain himself, were responsible for Rose's mother's death. He also warned her that Captain was a very dangerous man who smuggled young girls like her. Rose was shocked when she heard the truth. The man in front of her admitted that he had taken the wrong path, stolen something valuable, and because of that, his enemies had come that night. Her mother was also killed because of it. He said he knew her mother for only a few months and thought they would have a nice time on the trip. But things turned out differently. Then, he told Rose that she had made a mistake while tying the knot on his hand. He held her hand and pretended to teach her how to tie a proper knot. Rose did not understand his real intentions. While sitting there, she noticed a device named Jib in the bag beside them. She asked him why he still had it when he had told her earlier that it was dangerous. He then explained that by sending an SOS signal through the satellite, they could share their location and escape from there. But he had not activated it yet because he needed to finish her first. Hearing this, Rose quickly realized the danger. She punched him, grabbed the gun from the bag, and pointed it at him, demanding that he activate the device, but he refused. Rose pulled the trigger, but the gun did not fire. She was shocked the magazine was with Derek. Taking advantage of the moment, Derek attacked her, and a fight started. Rose struggled but somehow managed to escape. She ran as fast as she could while Derek reloaded the gun and started shooting at her. She kept running until she found a place to hide. Breathing heavily, she quickly worked to untie the ropes from her hands. The morning scene begins with Derek still chasing after Rose. But Rose had a plan. She wanted to escape using the raft. Quietly, she climbed down and started moving toward it. However, Derek spotted her from above and began shooting at her. Rose gathered all her courage and ran as fast as she could. Derek lost his balance and fell from above. Seeing him fall, just as she got close, he suddenly regained consciousness. Despite his injuries, he pulled out a knife and attacked Rose. "You have to take me to the boat." In the struggle, Derek managed to slash Rose with his knife. In pain, she quickly grabbed a stone and hit him hard on the head. She then took the device from her bag, but when she tried to activate it, she couldn't figure it out. Derek smirked and said, "You won't be able to do it. Take me to the boat, and I will help you." But Rose refused to listen. She left him behind, climbed onto the raft. After reaching the boat, Rose bandaged her wounds and tried to rest. She fell asleep, but in the middle of the night, she suddenly woke up and saw that the boat was sinking. Panic filled her, and she quickly gathered some important things. She then tried to take her mother's dead body onto the raft, but as she lifted it, it slipped from her hands and fell into the water. Rose broke down in tears. She did not want to leave her mother behind, but she had no choice. With a heavy heart, she cut the rope that connected the raft to the sinking boat and drifted away. For 2 days, she floated alone in the endless sea, not knowing what to do. On the 3rd day, she spotted a boat in the distance and quickly fired a flare gun. However, she feared that the bright sunlight made it difficult for them to see her signal. But that night, the same boat returned. They had seen her after all. They rescued her and took her to a big ship, where she was finally safe. Rose noticed that everyone on the ship had weapons. As she listened to their conversation, she heard them mention the captain's name. She immediately understood that these people worked for the captain and that the ship belonged to him. However, she remained calm and quietly followed them without raising any suspicion. They took her inside and gave her food. While she was eating, a drunken girl named Tabitha entered the room. Before Rose could say anything, a man grabbed Tabitha and took her away. Seeing this, Rose realized that the girl was helpless and that there could be other girls like her on the ship. She remembered Derek's words about the captain smuggling girls. Thinking quickly, Rose asked if she could take a bath. They agreed and gave her a room. Now, she knew exactly what she had to do. If this ship was used for smuggling girls, then the captain was surely on board. After taking a bath, she walked toward another room, and as soon as she entered, she saw a man surrounded by several people. Without hesitation, she asked, "Are you the captain?" The man looked at her and replied, "Yes, I am." Rose approached him and started talking, trying to distract and attract him. She remained calm and waited for the right moment. After some time, when she got the chance, she suddenly grabbed a nearby object and struck the captain hard on the head, killing him instantly. Without wasting any time, she quickly left the room. She then entered another room where she found a boy named Tub. She asked for his help. Meanwhile, the captain's men saw his dead body and became alert, searching for Rose all over the ship. She hurriedly asked Tub where the guns were kept. He told her that many guns were stored in the engine room. He also revealed that several girls were being held captive and taken somewhere, but they couldn't help her because they were all drugged by the kidnappers. After this, Rose quickly leaves and reaches the room where the guns are kept. She grabs a gun, but just then, a man enters and sees her. Without hesitating, Rose shoots him and kills him. She then moves forward to find the captive girls, killing the captain's men one by one as they try to stop her. Along the way, she encounters a girl who worked for the captain. This girl tries to fight Rose, but Rose doesn't hold back. After a tough fight, she kills her too. Then, she faces one of the captain's strongest men. He grabs Rose by the neck and starts beating her. Struggling to breathe, she somehow manages to escape his grip and, in the end, shoots him dead. After this, Rose enters a room and she is shocked to see very young girls held captive inside. She wants to free them, but before she can, one of the captain's men appears and points a gun at her. It seems like a dangerous situation, but just then, Tabitha sneaks up behind the man and hits him on the head. Taking the chance, Rose grabs his gun and shoots him. Then Rose leaves Tabitha with the other girls and rushes toward the radio room to send a signal for help. But as she moves forward, shocked, Rose asks, "You were supposed to be dead." On that island, Derek smirks and replies, "I made a deal with the captain by giving him your information. I used the device to escape from the island." He then attacks Rose and says, "I had a plan with the captain from the beginning, and now, no one can save you from him." Hearing this, Rose starts laughing and says, "I have already killed your captain." Angry, Derek hits her hard and throws her down the stairs. He then grabs his gun and comes back, but when he looks around, Rose is gone. He notices blood marks on the floor and starts following them to find her. As he reaches a spot, Rose suddenly throws a chemical on him. The chemical burns his skin, and he screams in pain before collapsing. After this, Rose takes out the same knife that Derek had once given her and stabs him directly in the chest, finally killing him. She was exhausted, and now all of the captain's men were dead. Just then, Tub comes to her and says, "Come with me. I have to show you something." Rose follows him and gathers all the captive girls. When they step outside, they see that the ship is moving toward a port. Seeing this, all the girls become very happy because they know they can finally return. When they reach the port, the police take control of the situation. All the criminals are arrested, and the rescued girls are safely sent back to their homes. After this, we return to the beginning of the story, where Rose is telling everything to a police officer. The officer praises her bravery and tells her that she will also be sent home soon. However, Rose looks sad and says, "I don't want to go back because there is nothing left for me there." The officer understands her pain, but reminds her, "You have a future ahead, and you fought hard to achieve it." His words give Rose strength, and she realizes that she can start a new life. With this, the story comes to an end. So friends, I hope you liked this story. Stay tuned for another interesting story soon.